Sharing this video, this guy saying that in the UK they're trying to pass laws which will imprison Christian preachers. The UK, because the UK is part of the system that runs the world, the District of Columbia. So everything that happens in London comes to America, and worldwide they work with together with the Vatican. In the reading of Revelation, the color of the horses are the color of the Arab nations. I don't know, Queen Elizabeth was related to the Prophet Muhammad, which means King Charles is related to the Prophet Muhammad, which means the presidents of the US are related because they're all related to the King of England. So all these players work together. So the document on human fraternity for world peace and living together was signed in February of 2019. Francis, Quran, and the Holy Bible are the same. So let's get into that. So the Crusaders, the Knights Templars, was a large organization of the bold Christians. These were the ones that martyred the saints and the prophets. Now to the reading of 1 Maccabees, but before I do, this is a King James version. And that's why you should focus on the vessel, the color of the vessel. Because King James was a black man, and so was Nimrod, and he was the founder of Freemasonry. And so were the Hamites, because he was a Hamite. So I made this video yesterday, King Antiochus. These are immortals. This is the king of Babylon. So this template was used also for Elvis, the Statue of Liberty, and even parts of it for Donald Trump that happens to be the king of Babylon at the moment. This is when he took over a holy city and he became the king of Babylon. This is the reading of 1 Maccabees. So this is what he did when he was in power. He issued a proclamation that all his kindred should be one people, giving up their own religions. The Gentiles agreed to do this, and many Israelites chose this religion, sacrificing to idols and ignoring the Sabbath. That's when they changed the Sabbath day from Saturday to Sunday. The king sent out letters by messengers to Jerusalem and to all the cities of Judea, ordering the people to follow the foreign customs of this kingdom, banning holocausts and sacrifices and acts performed in Jah's temple. He also prohibited keeping the Sabbath and celebrating the religious holidays. His law defiled the holy places and profaned Yah's ministry. He also ordered altars and temples and idols to be built, and pig flesh and unclean beasts to be sacrificed. He set up terrible idols of Baal over the very altar of Yah, which is in Utah, by the way. And similar altars were built throughout all the cities of Judah because it's in Utah. The city of Judah is in Utah. They burned incense and sacrificed at the door of the houses and in the streets. They tore up and burned up the books containing the laws of Yah. By the king's decree, they put to death anyone found with the books of the covenant observing the law of Yah. Like I said, they took our books and they killed anybody and punished anybody that had the books because they tore them up, burned them, and rewrote them. It tells you in the scriptures that an angel will give you another gospel and they will preach to you another Jehoshua, and that's exactly what they did. Time, pull up the Constantine Creed. This is what makes a Christian. In order to become a Christian, you have to do away with anything that has to do with the Hebrew Messiah, including his name, the name that saves, Jehoshua HaMashiach. The reading Zechariah, we were sold over to the bad shepherd. That's why the Pope always has that shepherd's staff. What's the difference between the bride and the church? Rome gave you the church. Peter is going to destroy his followers now. Peter the Roman, who will pasture his sheep in my tribulation. And when these things are finished, the city of the hills will be destroyed, and the dreadful judge will judge his people. The end, that's the tribe of Dan. The judge is the tribe of Dan. That's in London. There's two rocks. There's Peter the rock, and then there's the rock of your salvation, which is Yahuwah. So pick the rock that you're going to follow. Peter was the so-called first pope. Peter is Janos and Sibyl. He plays both roles. And Peter, the upside down crucifixion, well, that was a fable. That never happened. If you look at Albert Pike, he wrote that these Abrahamic religions were recreated so at the end of time they could turn on each other and destroy each other. And the Vatican created both Christianity and Islam, one to destroy the other. So all of them will turn on each other at the end and destroy each other. It's for cleansing. And the Islamic movement is growing worldwide because along with that movement comes Sharia law. Then, along with the Vatican, are the ones behind this global green movement, right? This climate change movement. And I'm going to share with you the gematria for London, Gog and Magog. The hidden hand behind both London, the House of London, and the Vatican are the Rothschilds. What Abba's doing now that he's cleansing the earth, he's purifying it with fire, water, and blood, and it returns back to his children. So you shall not pollute the land in which you are, for the blood pollutes the land, and no expiation can be made for the land, for the blood that is shed on it, except by the blood of him who shed it. I also covered this before. In Brazil, peace and security, because all these meetings are taking place in Brazil. Why Brazil? Because the District of Columbia, set up in Washington, D.C., is about to crash. And the new system is going to be being picked up in Brazil. The B for BRICS nations is for Brazil. Yes, you're coming after the Christians because Christianity has nothing to do with our law. It's a form of godliness by the dynamis power, which is Shahushua. So the same way that our people, our prophets and our saints died to defend our book, now it's going to be flipped now. Because remember, it was the Christians, they martyred the saints. But she got drunk on the blood of the saints, which is the Catholic Church.
They were trying to cancel Easter in the UK. Now they're announcing that they're seeking to pass laws which will imprison Christian preachers, people who silently pray for others, or even hand out religious leaflets. Christianity is being systematically erased throughout the UK. Thoughts?